All right. So today's story is actually something that I want to talk to you about right here. It's called an informational text. So a text is actually something that you're going to read, like a story, like a book. And it's books that teach about a topic. So today's topic and our story is schools around the world. All right? So this story is going to talk about a lot of different people. It's not going to talk about animals, but it's going to talk about people. But it's going to talk about different places. And in an event, which is school, okay, that's our event, and then different things that you might see. So this is an informational text that's going to teach us a little bit about schools around the world. Did everybody get to open up their weekly update? Did anyone do that over the weekend and click on that YouTube? It was a video about schools around the world. Did you see it, Will? Wasn't it cool? It was taking you to different classrooms all over the world. So you got to see, it wasn't always just little kids, it was even like big kids, like maybe in college or in high school, right? And their classrooms were really interesting, right, Will? Did you see some of them were really tiny, right? What were some other things? Do you remember anything else that you saw? No? But it was, were you kind of looking at it, Will, and thinking, oh my goodness, this is a classroom? Right? Yeah, so some of the classrooms, they looked nothing like our classroom. Some of them were maybe a quarter of the size of this room, and they were all shoved in a tiny little classroom. And a lot of them didn't even have desks, they maybe had some tables. Some of them were even outside the classrooms. Some of them had rooms where they were dirt floors. They weren't even in a building. They maybe had a little roof and they were outside and the floors were just dirt. Some of them don't have pencil boxes and fancy scissors and glue sticks. They just had a chalkboard, and that's what they would use. They'd use paper. So there's a lot of different classrooms around the world. So you guys, we have to be so thankful every day that we get to come to a school like this and that your parents send you here, because you guys are really, really lucky. So I want to make sure that maybe today too, I can even show it to you if we have some time. But I want you to really watch it at home with your families, because it's going to tell you where the classroom is and where it is in the world. And some of them were in the United States, so you'll get to see some classrooms in the United States, but a lot of them are over in completely different countries around the world. So make sure you watch it. It's on the little computer screen. I believe it's on the computer screen, right? And you have to click on the little computer screen on my desk in the weekly update, and it'll take you to, there's a little globe, I believe, that I put on there. So you click on the little globe, and it'll take you to these schools all around the world. Okay? So that's another assignment I want you to do tonight. So this is an informational text. So let's go through it. It's called Schools Around the World. So just looking at this book cover, what looks kind of similar to our class? Anything look similar? Finn? Okay, they're wearing a uniform. Very good. So they're all wearing the same type of clothing. So like a uniform, like we do. Awesome observation. Yes, Riley? Desks. Okay, they all have desks. Okay, a desk and a chair to sit in. Very good. Aiden, anything else?
They don't have the same shirt as us.
Well, they don't have the same shirt, but we're just looking to see if they do have a uniform, though. It's not the same uniform, but they do have a uniform. Okay, yes, Ethan?
The floor's all dirty.
Well, look, I can't really tell, but the floor just looks like it looks like a wooden floor, maybe. But I can't really tell. But look at the teacher up here. I think that's the teacher. Do they have a fancy Promethean board? No, it doesn't look like that. Does it even look like a chalkboard?
Yeah.
It might be a chalkboard, but it's just a small board, and then that's all that they're looking at. Do you see decorations around the room?
No.
Calendar math? No. Any iPads?
They don't have this stuff.
No. Do they have crayons and markers and stuff? No. So very, very different. So we need to remember that you guys are really lucky to have what you guys have. But guess what? Even though these classrooms are different, do you think that they're learning a lot of good things though?
Yes.
Yeah, sure they are. So just because their classrooms are different doesn't mean that they're not learning anything. Okay? Every teacher is different. Every school is different on what they're going to teach. So we all have to kind of stick to the same things, but in different countries, they might teach things a lot differently than we do. Okay? So if you saw that first page, I'm trying to get through it because sometimes I know these take a while. But this is our contents. So we're going to be going through, there's different topics that we're going to look at. So schools everywhere, different types of schools, how do children get to school? What do children learn at school? What else do children do at school? Maps of schools around the world. And then there's like some pictures and things at the end. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to hit play and let it read it to you.
Schools everywhere. Children go to school all over the world. Children go to school to learn.
All right, so look at these two different classrooms. Very different, right? Okay, so it said children go to school all over the world. And they all go there for the same reason, because they want to what? They want to learn. Very good. All right, so it doesn't matter where they go to school. The purpose to go to school is so that you learn something, right? Okay, put it in the box. That is the goal. Have you guys already learned something here at school? I hope so. That wasn't a very confident yes. I hope you guys are all learning something, right? Okay, all right, listen up.
Different types of schools. Some schools are in cities. Some schools are in the country.
All right, so big difference there, right? Between a city and the country. Put it away, buddy. Okay, so what is the difference between the city and the country? What do you notice? That's really, really different, Evelyn. Thank you for raising your hand.
The country has snow.
Well, this is in the winter time, okay? But what is the difference? Because you could have a lot of snow in the city, but what is a big thing that you notice though that's different besides the weather? Evelyn, go ahead, try again. Will, why don't you help her out?
Because they have bigger buildings.
Okay, in the city, there's a lot of children. There's a lot of families. So their schools have to be that much bigger for all the kids that have to go there and all the different grades. Okay, so you see a lot of kids here, and over here, just a couple of kids, because look at, they just have one small little school building. Okay, so very different. Do you see a ton of trees in the city? No, not as much. So out here in the country, they're going to have a lot more nature and trees, and so it's really beautiful. But the cities, you're going to have a lot of buildings, right? I'm sure a lot of you have been to the city before and seen all the tall buildings and things, right? Lots of people. Lots of people. Okay. Oh. Okay. Oh, here we go. All right, next one.
Some schools are outside. This school is on a boat.
Whoa. So this school, they're sitting outside. Look, they're just sitting on the ground under a tree. And these kids are on a boat. And look, they have their workbooks out. They've got all kinds of different, look, they got their supplies. They've got desks. But they're on a boat traveling, probably down like a little river there. How cool is that? Wow. How many of you want to be on a boat for school? Well, it's not a speedboat. That one I think is just moving very gingerly, nice and slowly down the river. Okay, all right, listen to this one.
Some schools are at home. Some children talk to their teachers on the internet.
Well, this is interesting because before the coronavirus, this was also something that kids would do. Some kids didn't come to school, and now it's an option, right? Some kids are staying at home and doing e-learning, and some kids, they'll do videos and things with their teacher. But now it's almost mandatory for a lot of schools where they have to do this. But before that, some kids, that's what they do. So their parents say, okay, well, we're just going to do homeschooling, and they don't come to a classroom. They get to do it at home with mom and dad, or they do it with a teacher over on the computer on the internet. So that's also an option. But a lot of you guys are here instead. But then, would any of you want to stay home and do school instead, or would you like being here? You want to go to school, Dean? Go to home? I'll let your mom and dad know, okay? Oh, I'm so glad you're so excited to be here. Okay, all right, listen to this one.
How do children get to school? Some children go to school on a bicycle. Some children walk to school.
All right, so interesting though. Check out this bike. Look at that boy's riding like on the back of his dad's bike there. And then over here, they're walking to school, but you see streets?
No.
Sidewalks?
No.
No. It's very mountainous. Right? There are lots of mountains. There's lots of rocks. It's really dry. Oh, where could they be? Maybe. Isn't that interesting? So, some kids will walk to school and take their bike. We do that around here, but where they live, it's very, very different, isn't it? It's cool to see these actual pictures of these places. All right, here we go.
Some children go to school on a boat. Some children go to school on a bus.
All right, so we know we've seen buses before, but have you ever seen anyone take a boat to school? No, we don't have rivers and things like that around here. Even if we lived in like Chicago, by Lake Michigan, they're not going to take a boat to go to school, okay? But in these different places, that's a way to get, Ethan, that's a form of transportation is taking a boat, okay? So that's the way that they get to school. Look at, maybe their house is right across the street from the school, or right across the river from the school, I should say, not across the street. So they have to take a boat to get to school. Isn't that cool?
Yeah, I want to be at school.
On a boat?
That means
Be pretty cool. Okay, all right, listen to this one.
What do children learn at school? Children learn to read and write. Children learn to do math. Children learn about other countries. Children learn about art and music.
Okay, so these kids over here, they're reading and writing. They're going to do math also, but what are they using to do their writing on? What does that look like, Ethan? Chalkboard. Yeah. They don't have whiteboards like we do, but they do have chalkboards, so they're just practicing tracing letters A and B right now, and that's it. Okay? But I don't see any paper or pencils or crayons, do you? No, there's a chalkboard. And over here though, we see lots of painting. Okay, they've got crayons and things out. So these two classrooms, are they the same? Not a lot, but what's the thing that is the same? They all are learning, right, Ben H? Put that mask up. Mask up so you're not doing that. So just remember that even though they look super different, they're still learning. That's the big thing. No, arms. Sorry, Dean. I know it's taking a little bit to turn pages, guys. Just be patient. Just be patient. Okay, here we go.
What else do children do at school? Children meet their friends at school. Children eat at school.
So, do you guys see your friends at school? Yeah, we all see our friends. Look around the room. Do you see all your friends? We sure do. Okay, do you guys eat here at school? Okay, so we do all these things. And guess what? Kids all around the world, they do the same thing. Right? They all see their friends, and they all eat. Right, Evelyn? Evelyn? Yeah, we just do it in a different way, maybe. Right? But we eat different foods. So we still all eat. We all see our friends. Just, we all do it a little differently, right? Okay, here we go.
Schools are different all over the world. What do you like to do at school?
Okay, so tell me a couple of things that you like to do at school. Let's go and just do a couple things. Here, Victoria, what do you like? Math. Okay, Will. Calendar. Okay, Dean. Lunch, of course. Yes, Ben. To learn things. Well, learning things. Evelyn. Having fun. Ethan. Going outside and running. Brayden, what do you like? What was it? Learning. Awesome. Okay, Aiden, what do you like, bud? Think before you raise your hand, okay? Think, and then raise your hand. Juliana? Lunch. Okay, Jenna, what do you like? Art. Ooh, yes. Bendy. Painting. Okay, Aiden, you thought something? What is it? Reading. All right. And then Georgia? Coloring. Excellent. Okay. So this, we all like to do things in school. That's what's important. That's what I wanted to hear. But all the fun things that you like to do. Going home. Ethan, are you trying to hurt my feelings? Goodness gracious. Okay. Oh, let's look at this one. Check this out. Okay, so listen.
Map of schools around the world.
Okay. So these are all different pictures in the book. Okay? So this classroom that we saw earlier here, this was in South America. This one that was outside and said it was in the city, that was in Europe. Okay? In Africa, that was the classroom that was outside under the tree. Riley? No. Thank you. The one that was on a boat, that was in Asia. I'm assuming it had been maybe like Thailand or something, you know? Or, maybe not Thailand, but, I'm trying to think of what's right down here, but it's in Asia. Asia is so big though, guys. There's so many different places in Asia where they could be. And then this one also was in Asia with the mountains. Okay? So, over here is just saying, this is a picture glossary, so any pictures that we saw, it would explain what those are. But we're not going to go through all of those right now, okay? All right, so make sure the schools around the world that you guys in your weekly update, I want you to find it, have mom and dad open it for you, and click on the little globe on the laptop, okay? That's something really cool that I want you guys to do. So, just moving on here, let me keep this down here. All right, we're going to go ahead, and I want to get up and move